day, everyone. Welcome to this week's Business and Investment Tips program, a production of Christ Church Radio with Ayodeji Ebo, an investment professional. This week, the focus is on the impact of high inflation rates and a depreciating Naira on your savings and investments. We have continued to highlight the impact a high inflation rate and depreciating Naira can have on your savings and investments if action is not taken to reduce the impact. This is to encourage you to take action if you have not, to optimize your savings and investments while preserving your capital. Last week, Thursday, the National Bureau of Statistics published Nigeria's April 2022 headline inflation rate, which rose by 0.9% to 16.82% year-on-year from 15.9% year-on-year in March 2022. The year-on-year data measures price changes between April 2022 and the corresponding period in 2021. The rise in headline inflation can be attributed to both increases in the core and food sub-indexes. Some of the significant factors are discussed below. A. Core inflation. Core inflation, which was impacted by higher energy and transportation costs, rose to 14.2% year-on-year in April 2022 from 13.9% in the prior month. This is the highest year-on-year increase since May 2017, driven by the rise in the prices of cooking gas. 12.5 kg cylinder of cooking gas up 89.1% year-on-year, and diesel up 176% year-on-year from 237.19 Naira in April 2021 to 654.46 Naira in April 2022. B. Food inflation rose to 18.4% year-on-year in April 2022 from 17.2% in March 2022, driven by a sharp increase of 2% month-on-month, that is, inflation in April 2022 versus March 2022. This was on the back of the huge demand during the Easter and Ramadan festivities, as well as the winding down of the harvest season. C. Insecurity and higher cost of doing business due to the infrastructure bottlenecks. On the FX segment, the pressure on the Naira has persisted due to the influence of political activities on demand amidst reduced FX supply by the central bank. Since the beginning of this month, the Naira has depreciated by 16 Naira or 2.6% from 590 Naira to $1 on 4th May 2022 to 606 Naira to $1 last week Friday. The outlook is not bright given the reduced dollar proceeds from oil sales and increasing demand ahead of the 2023 election. How does high inflation affect you and what should you do? If you kept 1 million Naira in your savings account without investing in the last year, the savings will be worth 814,000 Naira in real terms, signifying a loss of purchasing power of 186,000 Naira. Basically, the 1 million is worth 814,000 in terms of what it can buy compared to a year ago. However, if you have invested in a fixed income instrument, even at 5% per annum, the loss in purchasing power would have reduced by 50,000. The focus should be on how to reduce the impact of inflation on your savings by never leaving your money idle, even if the potential return will not completely compensate you for high inflation. You can invest in fixed income instruments like FGN savings bond, FGN bonds, and commercial paper with low risk and better returns compared to treasury bills. You can listen to our podcast on FGN savings bonds to understand this opportunity. How does a depreciating Naira affect you and what you should do? In addition to inflation, the depreciation of the Naira reduces the worth of your savings in dollar terms. With the persistent decline in the value of the Naira, it is advisable to have a significant portion of your investment in dollars to add value to your dollar savings rather than leaving the funds in your domiciliary account. You can invest in a fixed income dollar fund or mutual funds. The potential interest rate varies between 3% and 7%. And for investors with moderate to high risk tolerance, you can consider foreign stocks with strong fundamentals and exchange traded funds, that is, ETFs with a long-term focus. The foreign stock markets have dipped significantly, presenting good entry opportunities for stocks with strong business model and consistent dividend payment history. Kindly listen to our podcast on investing in dollar-denominated assets to understand the investment process and the opportunities. Thank you for listening. Please join us same time next week for another exciting and insightful session. For questions, comments, and feedback, kindly forward to info@getfinanceandinvestmenttips.com or send SMS to 0708 246 3747. Stay blessed.